This real-life story is one of the most incredible examples of Afghan hospitality. The Silent Hills. The mountains of Afghanistan are a harsh mistress. Endless stone, jagged and unforgiving, met by biting winds that carry the secrets of ages past. The silence here is deafening, a solitude so profound it echoes in the soul. But the mountains have another side, a temperament as cruel and sudden as the winters here. For when the winds shift, the silence breaks, often into gunfire. This is where in 2005 a small unit of soldiers was sent deep into the belly of the hostile territory, a mission that would test their courage, their brotherhood, and their very survival. Amongst them was Michael Carter, a man of few words, a soldier who let his actions speak. His face, weathered like the mountains themselves, held a steady gaze that mirrored the resilience of the rocks that surrounded him. To his brothers in arms, he was known as the Anchor, a testament to his steadfast nature and unwavering resolve. The task before them was clear: find the enemy stronghold and report back. But as they ventured deeper into the valley, the mountains made it clear they were not merely spectators, but active participants in this deadly game. Within hours, the tranquility of the mountains was shattered. The enemy fighters, sensing their presence, swarmed the ridges like a dark cloud. The hills erupted in thunder as bullets tore through the air and grenades shattered the rocks. It was David first. He was the medic of the group, the one who had sworn to protect his brothers, but he couldn't save them all. A bullet found its mark, and despite his frantic efforts, life ebbed out of David's eyes, leaving behind a vacant stare that reflected the emptiness in their ranks. Jonah was next, the radio man, the lifeline to the outside world. Even as his blood painted the dirt red, he kept calling for help, his voice crackling over the static, a desperate plea into the void. But help was a distant echo in the mountains. Trapped and outnumbered, the men fought with the ferocity born out of desperation. The Anchor, calm amidst the chaos, rallied his comrades. Each man was a piece of a well-oiled machine, their movements a grim ballet honed by years of training and forged in the fires of countless battles. But the mountain had claimed two of theirs, and the odds were steadily turning against them. With each passing moment, the enemy grew bolder, sensing their impending doom. The bullets came faster, the grenades exploded closer. Still the Anchor held firm, his gaze fixed, his will unbroken. He fought not just for himself, but for the memory of those who had fallen, and for the hope of those waiting back home. It was Aaron who fell next, the Anchor's closest friend, his confidant, his brother in arms. A bullet found its mark, and as the life drained from Aaron's eyes, he turned to the Anchor, a sad smile gracing his lips. With a voice hoarse from battle and edged with finality, he whispered, "Tell my daughter, I fought for her future." Those were his last words, a father's love echoing through the valley of death. And the Anchor, his heart heavy with grief, promised to fulfill that wish. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the battlefield, the fighting grew more desperate. For the men, fatigue was a luxury they couldn't afford. Hunger and thirst, companions they had to ignore. They were soldiers, but they were also human, and the toll of the battle was etched on their faces, in the tremors of their limbs, in the shallow gasps of their breaths. Yet none gave up. None yielded to the whispers of surrender that danced at the edge of their consciousness. But the mountain had other plans. It seemed to revel in their torment, egging the enemy on, ensuring that the survivors paid dearly for their tenacity. By nightfall, only the Anchor remained. He was battered, bruised, his body a canvas of pain. Shrapnel dug deep into his leg, and blood soaked his uniform, blurring the line between man and machine. But his will remained unbroken. Despite the torment of his wounds, he pushed on, driven by an unyielding determination and the promise made to his fallen comrade. Through the gloom, He saw a flicker of movement. Hope surged within him, the first in what seemed like an eternity. Was it rescue or was it the end? As he struggled to his feet, the answer became clear. It wasn't an enemy soldier that stood before him, but a villager. His features were weathered like the mountains, his eyes wary yet kind. In his hand was a canteen, and in his gaze, an unspoken question. The anchor, unable to speak, could only nod, his throat too dry to form words. The man, without a word, dipped his head in understanding and offered the canteen. The water was cool, sweet, life-giving. It revived the anchor not just physically, but spiritually. It was a gesture of humanity amidst the brutality, a reminder that even in the harshest landscapes, kindness could bloom. The anchor knew he couldn't stay there. The enemy would soon return to the area. He thanked the man, hoping his eyes could convey the depth of his gratitude, and started to limp away. The man placed a hand on his shoulder, his touch firm, his gaze resolute. He led the anchor away from the village, away from the safety of the mountains, into the unknown. Every step was agony for the anchor. His wounds, neglected for so long, flared up, threatening to bring him down. But he had come too far to falter. He had to keep going for himself, for his unit, for Aaron's daughter. Suddenly, the familiar sound of Allied helicopters broke the silence. The anchor looked up, his heart leaping with hope. Rescue had come. As the chopper swooped down, the man from the village waved frantically, drawing attention to the hidden soldier. With a grunt, the rescuers pulled the anchor aboard. As he was lifted from the mountains, the anchor looked down at the rugged hills, at the village that had shielded him, and felt the weight of both salvation and sorrow. The mountains had tested him, broken him, but they had also been his sanctuary, the silent witness to his ordeal. Back home, medals and ceremonies could not quiet the memories. The laughter of his brothers in the tank-like safety of the mountains, the camaraderie around a shared meal, the quiet moments of reflection under a sky full of stars. These were the memories that sustained him, the moments that made the pain bearable. Years passed, seasons changed, but the anchor never forgot. He carried the memory of his fallen brothers, the pain of his wounds, both physical and emotional, and the quiet pride of his survival. One day, the anchor sought out Aaron's daughter. Time had been kind to her. She was a teenager now, her eyes mirroring her father's, her spirit reflecting his strength. The anchor, older, wearier, but no less resolute, had a small box with him. Inside, nestled in velvet, was Aaron's dog tag, a simple piece of metal, yet laden with meaning. He handed it over, his hands trembling slightly, and said, "Your father. He wanted me to tell you that he fought for your tomorrow." And he kept that promise. The young woman's eyes filled with tears as she clutched the dog tag, the tangible link to her father's past, to his sacrifice. She embraced the anchor, her gratitude evident in the tightness of her hug. In that moment, the anchor felt the weight of his promise lift, replaced by a sense of closure. And so the story of the anchor resonates, a testament to the indomitable spirit of soldiers, the bonds of brotherhood, and the enduring power of love, even in the silent hills of war. The mountains had tested him, broken him, but they had also been his sanctuary, the silent witness to his ordeal. For in the tapestry of war, where courage and sacrifice are the threads, the stories of ordinary men like Michael Carter are woven into extraordinary tales that remind us of the true cost of freedom, the silent hills.